Hello, my name is Pavel and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. I am genuinely nervous for this video. I'm not joking. I'm not nervous about making the video. I'm more nervous about the movie that we're going to be watching today, because today we're watching quote unquote the most disturbing movie of all time, and I'm a little bit nervous. If you know me, I love my horror movies. I love my body horror, but I feel like today it's just going to be pushed a little bit too far, but I don't know. I won't know until I watch this movie. But what is this movie? I'll tell you in a minute, because first I want to tell you what I'm doing. This year I decided I'm going to start a new tradition, because last year I finished my October spoopy horror movie month with Martyrs, and that movie fucked me up, and I was like, you know what, I'm done with horror movies. I do not want to watch any more horror movies, and I feel like watching something just like absolutely bonkers, absolutely insane to finish off Halloween, to just wrap October up, is kind of what I want to do. I kind of want to just be put off horror movies, because if I'm not, I'm just going to continue watching them. That's not a problem, but I just want to finish my October with a disgusting, horrible movie, and I don't know why, and that's exactly what I'm going to do today. Today, I'm going to be watching a Serbian film. I think that's what it's called, and everybody says it's disgusting. Everybody says it's horrific, that it's nightmare fuel, is going to keep you up at night, and just stuff like that, and I'm really curious about it, and I don't know why I'm watching this, but I am. I feel like I want to put a stamp on the end of October and just finish off this season by watching something horrific, and that is the movie I'm going with this year. But before that, here's everything I watched in October. Here it is. This is everything I watched. Some spoopy things, some not. This is what I've watched, and I'm going to be finishing it off with a Serbian film, which is, I don't know what expectations to even have. I have a feeling it's going to be everything disgusting that I could think of. I feel like it's going to be themes that I will not even be able to talk about in my video. I just feel like it's going to be awful. And I feel like it's going to be a low budget movie that's going to be shot really bad, because like, I feel like that's just a theme with all of those type of movies. I also feel like I've been desensitized growing up, because I watched like things like Two Girls, One Cup and stuff like, you know, things that you should not be watching when you're like 9 or 10 years old. So I feel like my brain might be able to hack this, but who knows? I guess we'll see in like 2-ish hours or however long this movie is. Even last night I was in bed and I was not sure if I wanted to make this video, because I was like, I could make this video, or I could make a video about me doing a quiz on BuzzFeed. Which one do I want to do? And I was sitting on the couch and I was like, will I watch this movie? Will I not? Will I make this video? Will I not? And I was like, okay, fuck it. I'm just gonna do it. I know I'm terrified, but I will. And I think I'm gonna go watch a Serbian film. I have no expectations because I know nothing about this movie. I'm gonna take a few clips of myself throughout the movie to see like my reactions, my opinions, and see if it's actually as bad as I think it's gonna be, which I think is gonna be quite fun. So I'm gonna put them in after this part, or maybe it's gonna be like the perfect movie to watch on a first date. Probably not, but who knows? I feel like this might just be gore for the sake of gore, and I really hope it's not. I really hope that there's a story to this and the gore is justified. Will that be the case? Probably not, but I'm gonna go watch it. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go watch this movie. So, see you in like 2 hours. Oh, I'm nervous. Bye. Okay, so I'm gonna watch this. I do not know how to feel. The fear is that I'm just gonna like be thinking about this for days, about like really disgusting and fucked up shit, but maybe it won't be that bad. But I'm probably saying that, and if you've watched the movie, you know how we're... Let's just watch it. I'm gonna pause it a few times throughout the movie if I go to like the bathroom, or maybe if I need a break from the from the violence, and I will update you. I know that's not the ideal way to watch a movie, with like pausing it and stuff. Maybe I won't. Let's just watch it. I have no idea what to expect. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm exactly 20 minutes in and I need to go get some water, but it's actually perfectly fine so far, and I'm just worried because he's about to go into this like job and he has no idea what he's signing up for. And I feel like from now on, the next 90 minutes are going to be an absolute madness. But it's okay so far. It's literally fine. Yep, finished the movie. I'll go over to the camera in a few minutes. What the fuck? Oh my god. What the fuck was it like? I think I gotta like sit here for a few minutes and think of what to say about that movie. Yeah, I don't really know. Good. Okay, I have watched a Serbian film, and I don't... Man, why does shit like this exist? I'm done with horror movies for a little while, I think. That was... Whew, that was something else. I don't even know where to start with this movie. Like, I'm just going to read you the synopsis about this movie. I feel like I can't even show you a trailer for this movie. Maybe I can show you a little bit of a trailer, but I don't know how much of this movie I can actually show or talk about, because there's just things in this movie that I feel like I should never really have to watch. And I know I made myself watch it, and I knew it was going to be fucking insane, but I feel like, oh man, I'm just going to tell you what this movie is about. I'm going to read you the synopsis because I feel like it's a fairly straightforward story. The story is about a guy called Milo who worked in the adult video industry, if you know what I mean. And he's a semi-retired man who gets offered to do a job, but he knows nothing about this job, and he gets paid a lot of money if he does this job. And he says yes. And the things that go on in this job are genuinely things I cannot say to the camera. Think of everything like disgusting an adult movie star could do on camera, and that's probably in this movie because it is disgusting. It's like, I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. So let me tell you my notes. And I don't think this movie was awful, because actually, believe it or not, this movie actually had a storyline, and that's something that actually surprised me. I felt like this movie would just be thrown in, you're just going to have absolutely gore, people being torn apart, this happening, but no, there was actually a story present, and the story was quite coherent, and you know, I was genuinely surprised. But anyway, my notes, what did I think about this movie? I feel like people are just going to be like, this is for me, I'm fine with watching this, and I kind of enjoyed it, or there's just another person that's like, I hate this, I will never fucking watch anything like this in my life. And I feel like I'm more here. I'm fine with watching stuff like this that makes me really, really, really uncomfortable. I don't know why I am, but I'm fine with it. But I'm able to acknowledge that this is fucking disgusting. The things in this movie are just... Ew. This is a movie I'm going to go and think about for the rest of probably this week, and there's going to be scenes throughout this movie that will genuinely stay with me forever, but I'm fine with that. Like, I accepted that before I watched this movie. I was genuinely scared going into this, but not because of like what's on the screen, but I was scared of the impact that this movie would have on me, and I guess we'll see what sort of impact it will have on me in a while, because I've just finished it and I have scenes in my head. Like, the fucking ending of this movie is like... Stop. What are you doing? First 40 minutes of this movie is like a build up, like you get to learn about Milo's family. You're like, oh, he cares about this family and he's doing his job. He's doing this job for his family because he cares about them. He wants to get a lot of money and provide for them and give them a perfect life. But then you're like, is it really worth taking a job that's literally going to fuck you up and fuck everything around you up? And like, you know, the second that he accepts his job and you see the first kind of like part of this job that like, I can't even say it to the camera, you're like, what the fuck? And he tries to quit. Spoiler, a little bit of a spoiler, I guess. There's gonna be minor spoilers in this video. He tries to quit and they're like, no, they just drug him and he does disgusting things. Oh my god, this movie is ridiculous. And I feel like I should be also a person to say, if you do not like people getting killed and a lot of other things done to their bodies where they are maybe not alive or not conscious, do not watch this movie. This movie is definitely very, very triggering for probably a lot of people, and it's definitely terrifying because a lot of the things that go on in this movie are definitely realistic. Like, this shit probably happens and it's fucking terrifying. So if this is something you're not comfortable with, which I feel like a lot of people will not be comfortable with, do not watch this. This movie is not for you, and you'll go on throughout your life and you'll be perfectly fine having not watched this movie. You do not need to prove yourself as like a horror fan by watching these movies or anything along those lines. If this is something that is just out of your comfort zone, something that triggers you, something you're just uncomfortable with, you do not need to watch it. Do not watch this fucking movie, because this movie deals with a lot of disgusting and very sensitive and very touchy subjects, and it's a very, very tough watch, because the characters that get killed throughout this movie, that get a lot of things done to them, the mental and physical suffering they go through, is fucking difficult to watch. And that's me saying that, watching it from a screen, watching it on a screen. But imagine someone that's gone through something similar to some extent. Like, No, do not do it. I feel like I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here. So I actually have a little list of things that I genuinely liked about this movie. And the first thing is that the movie actually looks good. That the cinematography in this movie actually looks professional. Like, it looks really good. And from the first shot, you're like, oh, this is actually going to be like a proper solid movie, not just something filmed for the sake of it being gory, which I really liked. And this movie does not hold back. It goes straight into it. You know, like from the first 10 seconds of this movie, you know what you're getting. The movie opens up with just very graphic, with a very graphic scene. And you're like, okay, I'm out or I'm in. You know initially. Like, you know straight away if you want to watch this movie. And I really enjoyed that this movie actually had a story to it. Like, you have Milo who's wanting to make the sacrifice of his own body, I suppose. Like, Milo wants to do an experimental type of movie to get money to provide for his family, which is like, okay. And the thing that I also hated and loved was that the fact that they really focused on his family. But whenever you get later on into the movie and you see things happen to his family and to other victims, and they probably have families, you're like, oh my god, it makes it even more like you're more emotionally attached to these people, and it makes it even more fucking upsetting to watch, because you're like, you've spent 40 to 50 minutes of this movie making us care about this movie, showing the psychological difficulties that Milo was having because he doesn't know what to do. Should he provide for his family? He's feeling guilt. Should he come out of semi-retirement? Blah 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 blah. And you start to develop care for this family and the characters in this movie, and then shoo, it's fucking painful. I didn't expect that this movie would have so many heartfelt moments in the start of this movie, and funny moments. There's like genuine funny moments in this movie, and like, as you, if you know that this movie is going to get like dark, you know that these moments are like bittersweet, because you're watching, you're like, oh, it's so cute, this kid's saying this sweet thing, oh, they're so cute, blah, blah, blah. Boom, spoiler, kid's fucking dead. Oh, Jesus. Again, another spoiler, but I really enjoyed that there's a bit of a mystery to this movie, because an hour into this movie, Milo wakes up the next day because he's been drugged and he doesn't remember what happens, and the mystery surrounding what happened, as it unravels itself, it's fucking insane, because you're like, okay, it can't get any worse than this, can it? And it does get worse, and as the movie progresses, it just gets worse and worse, and everything disgusting, as I said, you can think of, is probably happened, and he's probably done it, but he doesn't remember doing it, which makes it even more terrifying. And oh man. And you know what? Milo's acting, like the guy that acts as Milo, is really, really good. Acting as this washed up adult movie star, and seeing the psychological torture he's going through, but also the physical torture. He's a really good actor, but so is everybody else in this movie. I feel like you have to be a really good actor to star in a movie like this, because this shit's crazy. I feel like I'm saying so many of these adjectives, like insane and crazy, because this is such a difficult fucking movie to talk about. And I think I'm even like laughing, because I'm just like, I don't know how to process this. So I'm like, this is so difficult to watch. And I feel like this movie actually is paced very well. Like, it starts off very graphic, but then you get little snippets and hints towards like the gore that is going to come. It doesn't just jump straight into it. There's a lot of build up. There's like 40 to 50 minutes of build up before Milo stars in this experimental arty movie. And I really liked that. I really liked how it paced itself. Like, this movie does rely on a lot of shock value, but I liked that it wasn't just shock value. Like, it was built up to that, and that wasn't the entire point of the movie. So here's the list of things I hated. I also hated that, like, I enjoyed the fact that this movie didn't hold back, but I also hated that this movie didn't hold back, because there are scenes in this movie with children that, like, man, it's... yeah, that's definitely going to be in my brain for the rest of my life. And yeah, it's a very difficult watch, that specific scene, if you know what I mean, if you watch that movie. Also, the music in this movie is fucking awful. It's like bing, bing, over and over for like the first 50 minutes. And it really annoys you, because you're trying to listen to this guy talk and trying to like plan out his movie, like what he's going to do with the job. And he's just, this music is just there, and it's so fucking annoying. Also, the guy, Milo, he can't dress. Bro, come on. You're about to get like a lot of money and you dress awful. Like, what's going on? Like, what? Why? And I also didn't like that I was nervous the entire movie, because you just don't know what's around the corner. You don't know, like something bad has happened, but you don't know, maybe something even worse is going to happen. And I didn't know when this movie was going to end, so I was like, is it going to get even worse? How can this movie get worse? So I was kind of like on the edge of my seat, and I was like, I don't like that, but I guess that's what the movie is trying to do. And I know this movie has definitely something artistic to say, but I don't know what that art is, because I don't know how to comment on that. But I know there's a lot of shock value to it, but I there's definitely a lot more than just gore for the sake of gore, because I feel like if it was just gore, the movie would have jumped straight to it. There wouldn't have been this like psychological element to it, which again, as I've said, I really liked. As I said before, a thing that I really loved but I also hated is that the fact that it made us care for the family, because as you see things happen to the family, you get so emotionally attached and you get so yeah, it's painful. It's just painful to watch. And this movie, the last thing I have about this movie is that it's just cruel. This movie is just not fair. It's like, you know, it's just cruel. I feel like that's the perfect word to describe this movie. It is cruel. It is a difficult watch, but I feel weird saying this, but I'm glad that I watched this movie because I don't know. I feel like I wrapped my October up fairly well with a movie that is as disgusting and as difficult to watch as this one. And I'm glad I watched it. It is a movie I'm never going to forget. But I feel like that's kind of like everything I have to say. It's a unique movie, and I feel like there's not many movies like this that I've been exposed to. Maybe there is, and maybe I don't really want to know about this movie. In my little world, there's only one movie that exists, and it's like that, and it's this one. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with it just being that movie that I'm exposed to. Maybe next year I'll watch something even more disgusting. But for now, I'm perfectly fine with just watching this, and next year maybe watching something more disgusting. My October was really good. I watched a lot of really good horror movies, a lot of non-horror movies, a lot of good short movies, and I wrapped it up with a Serbian film. Have you watched this movie? What do you think of this movie? Is it weird for me to ask? Did you like it? What was your opinion on it? What do you think? I feel like I definitely have a lot more to say, but I really do need to process this movie. But as I said, I'm really glad I watched it, and I think that's everything I have to say. If I have anything else to add, I'll just throw in a little clip. But that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye. Hello, editor Pavel here. I wanted to throw in a little clip of my thoughts on this movie about a week after, because it's been a week, as I've just mentioned, since I've watched this movie, and it's not really been on my mind at all. The only reason it has been on my mind is when I've been editing this video, but I feel like once this video is uploaded, I feel like it's going to be very, very rare that I'm going to be thinking about this movie. Maybe if I watch it with somebody else. But that does not minimize how awful and disgusting and how horrific this movie is. It's not something that should just be watched like lightly, like, haha, recommend this to someone and it's going to fuck them up. I feel like if you've been exposed to a lot of disgusting things growing up, maybe this movie won't impact you as much. But I feel like if you're a person that gets obviously triggered by things that I've mentioned in this video, or you just get easily turned off movies or feel sick, don't watch it. It's fucking disgusting. And that's the last thing I want to say. It's filth. And now I'm thinking of some scenes from this movie, and I wish I wasn't, because fuck it. Bye.